goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees.
Sadistic Penguin Studios presents It's Getting Drafty in Here.
Drafty old barn.
The show of drafting random nonsense.
I choose business ethics.
And now, coming to you from his basement, a.k.a. Draft Headquarters, your host and draft master, Magnificent Stan.
Hello, welcome to episode 43 of It's Getting Drafty in Here. I am your host, Magnificent Stan, otherwise known as Brian. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024. And today, this is one that we've had on the back burner for quite a while. We've been wanting to do. I've gone over it with our buddy Not Larry and Shankster for quite a while. Talked to Kevin about it a few times over the course of the year and a half since I started this show. So tonight we're going to do a draft, a kind of a hodgepodge of categories from the television show Arrested Development. Not a mega popular hit. It was mostly kind of grew on DVD and whatnot after the show aired. It was canceled after 3 seasons, and then so popular that it came back on Netflix many years later for 2 more. But we kind of don't want to remember those seasons. But the first 3 are pretty much the 3 best seasons of television you'll ever see. So if you haven't watched it before, watch it and then watch us, because I think we're just going to be throwing lines at each other all night. I have a feeling. So, joining me, these are all repeat guests on Drafty Pod. No newbies this week. Joining us, my buddy Kevin. How you doing, pal?
Hi. I was also on the Bluey Pod, so I'm really diversifying my podcast portfolio.
You're diversifying your bonds? Right on, dude. Also joining us, our buddy Not Larry. You are on mute. Just heads up. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's because I'm sick and just trying to make sure I don't get the coughing in. I've got my nice mug of hot tea right here. So
because you're
we'll
a
get
hot
through
tea.
it. And hey, happy early Cinco de Quattro to everybody.
Well, excuse me. Also joining us for another episode, becoming kind of a regular here. You've been on quite a few times. Our dude Shankster. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm dating this Christian girl right now, and she wants me to be honest and reconnect with my son. And I wanted to renounce God and fuck me, but I just want to prove to her that I'm worth it.
I can't. I'm stopping the show because I think I'm going to laugh too hard.
Did you just watch Caged Wisdom?
Caged Wisdom?
Oh.
All right.
What did he have on the back of his head? That was supposed to be the yarmulke. Was it part of his shoe?
It was his shoe, yeah. He cut the front of his shoe off. Yeah, it was like the denim on his like prison shoe.
We're gonna get nowhere.
Whatever. All right. Well, let's dive right in. Shankster, you have the first pick.
All right. I'm gonna go secondary character.
You know what? I'm sorry. Real quick. Let's go over the categories real quick, just to kind of let you guys. Just kind of establish them. We're going main character. So basically, this was Shankster's idea. Anybody that was in the opening video, like the credits for the show. And then we're going to secondary character. Who does the best chicken dance? The best Tobias line that is how do I put this? Inadvertently homosexual. And then the best, there's a lot of like just random shit going on in that show that you don't notice until you watch it like the 300th time. So, best Easter egg / like ongoing gag on the show. All right, now we're good to start.
All right. I'm gonna go secondary character, and I'm gonna go with the worst fucking attorney, and that would be Barry Zuckercorn.
Henry Winkler makes the first season, I feel like.
He kills it in everything, every episode he's in. You know, you get the throwbacks to Happy Days when they're on the pier with the shark. He jumps over the shark.
Well, and there's the scene where he's in the mirror and he's like, he's doing his hair, and he's like,
here.
Those are balls.
Yeah. They found out those are balls. You know, he can decipher blueprints, a picture of balls.
One of my favorite moments with him is when he's like cruising for prostitutes and he pulls up. He's like, "You're not one of those men who's dressed like up like a woman, are you?" And she goes, "No, baby, I'm 100%." And he just drives away.
There was one, I was looking up Easter eggs, and there was one when they're talking about Tobias's book, The Man Inside Me. They show the clip of Man Inside Me. They show the clip of his Amazon page for the book, and there's other books that they recommend, and one of them is like a homosexual cookbook, and the writer is BJ Zuckercorn. I don't think I ever noticed that the first time through, or the 50th time through. But
just, you know, he goes, "How long was I on the phone? 25 minutes. Let's make it an hour." You know, just
we didn't do anything.
Stop it! You're scaring me. Stop. You know, it's just, I mean, he does every scene that he's in. He just kills it. You know, I'm sorry I'm late. I was at another case. I think I'm going to get off. I got a good lawyer. You know, when he's at his own, he's late to their court case because he's, you know, at his other one.
When he leans over to whisper in Michael's ear, "Are you nuts?"
Everybody can hear it.
Was it when he's like, he was being Job's divorce lawyer? "I just want my wife back." Hey, save it for the stand, Tom Jane.
Oh my god!
But yeah, so I figured somebody was going to take it before it got back to me, so I had to go Barry.
Legit my strategy was to pick second character first because I wanted to take Barry Zuckercorn. So
yep, he was my. I assume he's number one on everybody's list. But all right, well let's keep moving right along, Kevin. What do you got?
I'm gonna go right to a gag Easter egg. It's a small one, but it's kind of what clued me into this show really being my jam. I forget, it's the first or second episode. George is in prison and he's just going to town on an ice cream sandwich, and Michael's trying to talk to him about how to get him off of these charges, and he just stops in the middle. He says, "I'm having a love affair with this ice cream sandwich."
He's trying to get him to eat it.
The real Easter egg is later in the episode, you don't see it. You don't see George, but you see Michael walk into Lucille's apartment, and you hear Lucille on the phone saying, "Why don't you marry an ice cream sandwich?" They don't even tell you that she's talking to George.
Right, you just know.
Talking to George Sr. So the whole ice cream sandwich bit, when I first saw that, that's what got me hooked. So.
That's a great one. It's a great one. They bring it back a little later too.
Yeah.
I think he mentions like in one of the pop gets a treat parts, like he mentions an ice cream sandwich. So
was it sitting in that same scene where he's like, "I think I figured out a way," and he's like, open up, and he just throws it right at his forehead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Without the touching. And the way it just like The sound effect of it bouncing off his forehead is incredible.
Yeah, whoever was running the boom mic that day did a great job. All right. I'm gonna actually go with my Tobias line. Hang on a second. So yeah, I'm going with, okay. I don't know how I'm going to put this on the actual draft board, but whatever. No, I was scared too, but I realized I realized it was of being a leading man. Oh, I can taste those meaty leading man parts in my mouth. So that one's.
I would just put tasty leading man parts. There you go.
I'm trying to see. Maybe it'll fit. Let's see. No. Okay.
I'm convinced that like one of the running gags in the writer's room had to be, let's see what we can get David Cross to do, or more importantly, like let's see where his line is. Let's see what he'll say no to, because it's just like they just give him everything to say, to do. He
wasn't even supposed to be a regular on the show. Him and Jeffrey Tambor weren't supposed to be, but it worked out so well that they just had to keep him.
But just the constant, innuendo to him being gay, like sitting there talking to Michael, and he's like, "Oh, Michael, help me! I think my husband's, is just about to say something," and he blows the air, the air horn, or, that there's not very many, attractive single men, straight man, and he's like, "Well, that takes me out." You said single, right? She said single.
Yeah, they're just all like waiting, like on their heel, like waiting for him to just come out, And the fact that he never ever does is the best part. Like it just keeps going and going and going, and his delivery, just the fact that he makes himself look so freaking awkward all the time too. That's like the best part.
It's the mustache hair combination,
right? And then have you ever heard the theory?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kev. No, go ahead, Kev.
The whole Miss Featherbottom bit was just letting David Cross do whatever he wants.
In the mouth. I bet you he came up with that idea.
A sausage in the mouth.
You just call it a sausage.
It's just a sausage. I have a feeling that people who have never watched this show will start to listen to this episode and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Then they need to go watch.
Right. You definitely, if you're watching or listening and you haven't seen this show, you need to start watching it, because it is. I have yet to meet someone that doesn't think it's absolutely hilarious. So
and just stop after season 3.
Yeah, don't watch the Netflix series 4 and 5. Don't watch them.
There was a 4th and 5th season.
Exactly.
Was Cinco de Quattro? Was Cinco de Quattro in season 3, or was that in like the Netflix?
That was 4.
That was 4.
That whole gag that was funny stuff around that gag where she did it the day before Cinco de Mayo so that people would celebrate and buy up all of like the food and the party stuff so that they wouldn't have Cinco de Mayo parties.
4 had a lot of funny gags. It was just kind of a mess. It was a little all over the place.
What they talking about building the wall back then? And that was that. It's been a while. I don't think I've watched it since it came out.
I only watched it when it came out. I tried to start watching it in my rewatch before we did this show, and I got like 3 episodes in. I'm like, I'm done. Like I can't. It's just not like I feel like they didn't have time to actually like. I think everybody's schedules were so fucked up that they had to cut a lot of stuff that they had planned, and they had to like fit everything in so that to fit Jason Bateman and Portia's schedules, and Will Arnett is on so much stuff now, and Michael Cera is a star, and
they just kind of filmed what they could, and then they recut it to where they put all the scenes kind of together.
Right. Yeah, the first time they released it was totally out of order, and then they released it in order, and people liked it a little more.
Yeah, 'cause
Remember
it was
that?
Yeah, it was just episodes about certain people whether they could fit in.
Right. But all right, Larry, you got two here.
Okay, so I'm going first with my main character. I'm going with Tobias Funke, who is the world's first therapist and analyst, the first analrapist. Just like going with like what I think the writers did with what can we give him to see what he won't do. Just like that guy's David Cross's ability to just like say no to anything, or say yes to everything. Sorry.
Yep.
And just like he wore the cutoffs and like he blew himself and like just some of the things that he'd say, like it's just funny. Like even when he's directing the school play and he's like climbing up on top and he just like kind of rolls over onto the stage, like just everything he does like goes like full tilt on it. It's one of those, like I think a lot of characters you watch on other shows, you think, I could see somebody else playing that. Like nobody would do what he did and take it the places he did.
It's just give him the most awkward lines, even like you said, not the homosexual ones, but it's just like so awkward with them. He's the one that always sticks out to me. Michael's like, "Oh, that's right, you're the marriage expert. Oh, that's right, your wife's dead." He's like, "I'm terribly sorry," and he just walks away.
There's so many out of left field things where he's like talking to Michael in the kitchen, and all of a sudden he opens the fridge and says, "Who the fuck ate my hard-boiled eggs?"
And he pushes the fridge into he actually pushes the fridge into the garage.
You gonna help me with that?
The cheap kitchen.
They're like looking at the buying and Bluth home. They're like slamming cupboards.
I think the house is an underrated main character in that show.
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene where they're talking about attention to detail at some point, and like Michael's opening the kitchen cabinets, and there's like one item in each cabinet, and it's exactly the item he's looking for.
Of course. Oh man. All right. Larry, you got another one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go gag or Easter egg. I'm gonna go with as we were talking about just somebody just mentioned the house as a character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the house breaking. Like as they just talk more about the developments in Iraq and all that stuff, you're just like somebody will like pound on the wall and something on the other side of the house will just like swing down, or like when Tobias goes into the kitchen, he just leans against the fridge and it like goes backwards into the garage. Like just the shoddy workmanship is a great gag.
Miss Featherbottom knocked over the upstairs railing. Remember?
Yeah.
And then we
can make houses, and he goes to knock on wood. He just like barely taps it.
And then you find out, like in the third season, that the house doesn't have any plumbing underneath.
Yeah, the sinkhole.
Oh boy. Yeah. Again, I said it already, but I'll say it again. That house is a sneaky main character, like a great main character. I actually considered putting that on my list to draft it because it's phenomenal. The prison too. The prison and the house are the two best.
George built.
White power. I'm white.
I'm shortstop or I'm nothing. No, I'm catcher or I'm nothing.
I'm catcher or I'm nothing. Yeah.
White power, Bill. You have some dirty ears. Hey, dirty ears, Bill.
I'm white. All right. I'm gonna go with my main character, and I struggled with this a little bit, but I made my decision this afternoon that I'm gonna take Lucille.
Lucille is so underrated.
Ostero or Bluth?
Bluth. I have Lucille Ostero on my secondary character list, but yeah, she's just like, she is the one that at no point has a conscience at all, ever in that entire. Even Job has like second thoughts and feelings every once in a while, but But Lucille is just a straight up asshole all the time. She's basically Larry David.
I love all my children 2 hours earlier. I don't really care for Job.
Yeah. She's when she's cozying up to Job, to get back at me. But he goes, the joke's on her. And she goes, she has no idea how little I care for Job. I think that makes the joke on Job.
Well, all the lines too, like, here, go see a Star. Here's $5. Go see a Star War, and what's a banana cost? $5, $10. And then like all the stuff with Lindsay, where she's just like, just like all the fat jokes, and
nothing can't be covered up with sleeves and then a thyroid problem.
A lie about a thyroid problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I watched the one last night with her and Kitty doing the drinking contest. Kitty like challenges her, and she grabs a shot and slams it down.
That one doesn't count.
She has possibly the most memed moment where she says, "It's one banana, Michael. How much could it cost? $10?"
The wink is always good.
Yes.
Two of my favorite lines from that show is with the boat. And he's like, she walks in, he's like, just a minute. He goes, get rid of the C word. And Lucille's response is, I'll leave when I'm good and ready. And it's just such, and they just sit there and look at her. And then the other one, I think it was season 3. And he's like, why'd you take a date up to the cabin? And she's like, who's going to want to go into that musty old clap trap? And Michael sits there for about 5 seconds. He goes, oh, yeah, the cabin.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, was it say 12 hours off medication or something?
And then the Lucille Austero stuff where she's talking about her, and she just turns and she goes, bitch!
That doesn't work if you're not at home.
I think my wife just got mad at me. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, she's just, like I said, just a sniper with the comments that she makes to everybody.
Well, even the looks she friggin' nailed. Like, I mean, the winking, of course, but then there's like anytime what's George's brother, Oscar, he'd like make a fatherly fatherly moment with Buster, and like Lucille would just roll her eyes.
I love the music. Speaking of Oscar, I love the music that plays every time they insinuate that Oscar is Buster's dad. Do, 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 do.
You're drunk. You're high.
If I wanted something your finger touched, I would drink the inside of your ear.
The
plate or platter?
I don't know what that means, and I won't respond.
Did you guys ever watch Archer?
She was good on that too.
She's fucking great on Archer. She's basically the same character. That's the funny part.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He goes, "You're still on postpartum medication?" He goes, "You hit Buster 32 years ago. That's how long I've been depressed about him." What was it? The mood alter. This handsome young doctor on the Today Show said that mood altering drugs can lead to street drugs. That was Tom Cruise, Mom. They said he's some kind of scientist.
Oh God! All right, Kevin, what do you got next, bud?
Well, I got to call an audible because Shankster stole my secondary character, but I'm pretty confident this is the next best. I'm gonna have to REP Carl Weathers as my secondary character.
The namesake of our episode title.
Just the premise of his character is perfect. That he's playing himself, that he's an acting coach, and that he's incredibly cheap.
He's he's kind of a scam artist a little bit.
Totally.
The exact amount of money Tobias has for his flight is exactly what it costs for acting classes.
I only have $1,100. $1,100 is exactly what my introductory class costs.
And to lend some background to the show title, whoa, there's still plenty of meat on that bone. Now, you take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato, baby, you got a stew going.
You go to craft service, you get a bouillon cube.
The Showtime movie with Ann Archer. Never once touched my per diem.
I love when they establish who he is when they introduce him, and they show that scene from Predator where he gets his arm blown off. Like, how random is that shit? And they're lucky they have they were on Fox, because I think Fox was the distributor for Predator. So
that and what was the shit? I lost my train of thought. I was doing one of the lines that he had. But it's the Burger King. The Burger King.
That's right where I was going too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna. I got the Burger King to underwrite this, man. The free refills here on any drink. It's a wonderful restaurant.
It is, Carl.
So good.
That's the one where Barry jumps over the shark, right?
Yeah, because he's going to Burger King.
Because they go to Burger King. Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to Burger King, and he jumps over the shark.
There's and one of the memoriams about Carl Weathers I read that they were talking about his character in Arrested Development, and apparently making him super cheap was his idea. That was I appreciated that.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Huh. All right. One thing I wanted to mention, I forgot when we were talking about Oscar for a minute there. One of the things I read today while I was doing a little bit of research was that when they put him in prison, his prison number was the exact same prison number as Jean Valjean. They did that on purpose for some reason.
He's Oscar.
Right.
.com.
All right, Shankster, you got two here.
All right, I'm gonna go main character. I'm gonna have to go with Job.
Gobluth. Jinx.
Just everything, the whole, magician, trick, illusion thing, and that's why I was like it's only on the DVD, but it's that first episode. He's like, "Is this your little trick?" He's like, "A whore is something. A trick is something a whore does for money." And then he looks at the kids. He goes, "Or cocaine." So now on the on Netflix it says candy, but on the edited one it's like it says or cocaine.
Well, yeah, and in the original, when it was on Netflix for the first time too, the one magician was like, "Fuck off, traitor."
Yeah, the kid magician.
They added that
magician.
Yeah,
and just he goes, "You're just and." With his wife, with you're just jealous because I got a super thin wife with big cans. It's just there's no clue what she looks like. If we
definitely consummated the marriage.
You didn't look at her while you were doing it. I like to look in the mirror. He goes, that's gross. Or he goes, if they did, it'd be gross. They didn't, but it would have been.
Like when he's trying to do like some of the fire tricks and stuff, and they fail, and just squirts out lighter fluid. He's like, "But still, where'd the lighter fluid come from?"
Where'd that come from? Yeah, when it's the British girl, Mr. F one, she's like, "Where did it come from?"
The whole Steve Holt with his kid being his kid is just another great bit.
Forget me nows.
Yeah, those roofies.
Yeah,
don't make me give you one of those again, Mom. The other one, just like a subtle thing, was he's sitting there and it was the one where Buster gave George Michael money to buy weed from Job.
Yep.
And he's sitting outside, and Michael comes out, and Job coughs, and like the smoke comes out, and he's like, "It's cold out here," just looks around.
And then, of course, the stuff with Franklin.
Yeah, said some stuff that Whitey didn't want to hear.
But some stuff that African American he wasn't ready for.
You've ruined the show. You've ruined the act, Job.
He puts his my name is Judge, the Judge Reinhold tape, and
my name is Judge.
It's just so was a Buster Swatch back from the seal.
Was that the episode, the Christmas episode, where he's wearing the $10,000 suit?
Come on.
Come on.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna hold like a guy in the $3,000 suit's gonna hold the elevator for a guy who doesn't make that in a month. Come on.
Should.
That same episode though, it's like you can't. I don't even know what he says, but he's like, if anybody tries to stay with my sister, if there's any, just beep after beep for like
Finger blasting and
finger fucking, I'm gonna pull it out. And then, just everything.
There's somebody transcribed that, but I don't remember the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just.
When he does, I love.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's just a total scumbag though. Just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love when he turns when he takes $100 bill and turns it into 99 pennies.
He lost his $99.
I think we talked about this in our chat. The poof. Michael like gets all mad at him and pulls him in there. Talk about him like that. No, poof the magazine.
Poof the magazine. Thought he was talking about.
I should be in this poof.
The guy just gets in the frame and just walks back. Has him sit on his lap in the chair, like leaning back.
Yeah.
He's not doing it now.
That's a great gag because there's like I've looked for the GIF of that, and there's like 3 or 4 different times that he did that.
Yeah. The one I think is easiest to find is like the chair one where he's just like in the chair. He's like, do you feel? No, it's not doing it now. It's just, like I said, he's just trying to get back at all them trying to revenge Michael with for Marta. With he's got his high school girlfriend and then the
Nasvarajli or whatever.
Yeah. And then, gets mad thinks Michael being nice to her makes him think she's attractive, so he sleeps with her.
Or when they're trying to figure out who Hermano is. He's like, thanks, mon frere. That's French for brother. I took 4 years of Spanish.
What do you guess they're Como? Yeah, somebody's gonna be in a coma, all right. And then just
I was just gonna say the segue was a character of its own.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. I just love when he pulls up and is a God. He just give me a Job with it's 2 sticks and it's 2 sticks extra chocolate. What is this, Mardi Gras? How much do you charge for this? He doesn't like to talk. I don't like to talk about money.
Oh boy. All right, Shankster, you got another one.
God. I'm gonna go. I think gag. Still, I think I'm gonna go with the her. Is that considered an ongoing?
Absolutely.
Gag?
Absolutely, yes.
That was
So I'm gonna go with her. Who's Ann?
Her?
Her. Is she funny or something?
Go get your little Ann hog.
What was the whole? Hey, check out who's on the hog in the back in the rear view. George Michael.
He calls it a mayonnaise.
She just squeezes it in her mouth. And Michael's just disgusted. I thought she was with another group. Just that she, was it the picture in the yearbook said not pictured. Under her picture in the yearbook it said not pictured.
They leave her in Mexico.
Yeah. And every time he brings up Ann, who's Ann?
The Easter egg thing is the category I like struggled with to like think of anything. I had to like do a little research today. I didn't even think about the her thing. That's definitely an ongoing gag throughout the entire first 2 seasons pretty much.
Yeah, you shouldn't let your son go on that church thing. He's not going on her, Dad.
We have Pop in the attic.
Just don't call Pop.
Ready for
it. All right, Kev.
Not much to be said for this one. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to go with the Tobias line. And that line is, I'm afraid I prematurely shot my wad on what was supposed to be a dry run, if you will. So I'm afraid I have something of a mess on my hands. I mean, it speaks for itself. So I have no further comment.
That entire episode that's the Martin Short one, right?
That's what I was gonna ask. I think
Yeah,
Uncle Jack was in that one.
Uncle Jack. Yeah.
shoot me.
To the nuts.
The bridge mix. The bridge mix. Fucking dragon. It's so funny. He's got a guy that carries him around named Dragon. He's dragging him around. Is that the joke?
I never picked up on that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
you know. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that one. There's so many jokes. I think when we do a dump list, I found a website that has 24 best Tobias lines. So I'll maybe I'll read a bit of that one for everybody. All right, I am up. I'm gonna go with Chicken Dance actually, and I mean you got to go with the one that could potentially get someone killed in Mexico, right? Job's Chicken Dance is the best. Go 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 go. So I'm gonna go Gob. I mean they're all hilarious, but you know.
There was one where he was talking to Michael about being scared. He just kind of did it on his segue. He just did the hand clap. He's like, "Well, you're not going to get off and do your little dance." No, I heard it yesterday playing basketball, and it cuts back to show him doing the chicken dance in Buster's room and hurting his ankle.
His ankle, yeah. And he's like, "Mother!" Oh yes. So.
He is even an understated one at the office where he's like talking to Michael about Buster or something, and he goes, "Go go go," and that's it.
That's almost just as good as him fully doing it as when he's just
right.
He just does the, like I said, I just did it on a segue. He just does the hand clap and says the words.
You guys ever even seen a chicken?
Well, then when Michael finally does one, and we'll talk about that. I don't know if anybody was going to draft him, so. Well, yeah, when Michael does it, it's so like normal because it just fills the you know the show itself that Michael's the normal one, you know. But okay, Larry, you got two here.
Yeah, let me pull up my Tobias line. It's from his book reading where he says, "For there's a man inside me, and only when he's finally out can I walk free of pain."
I'm just gonna put "man inside me." That's a good one.
And everybody's like wrapped and like watching him, like, "Oh God!" The big applause.
Yes.
Perfect line to end with.
Oh man. Yeah, the whole book thing is hilarious. I read one of the like Easter egg things is that is Tobias is an albino black man. That's what the book explains. We're known for using a lot of foreshadowing. One such plot development that the writer started to foreshadow but never followed through on was about Tobias being revealed to be a black man with a rare skin condition. that would have been so bad. That would have played so poorly.
Oh, when he's like on the wheelchair and talking to George Michael about the Uncle Teabag.
Don't leave your Uncle Teabag hanging.
Don't call yourself that.
Oh man,
Uncle Teabag. All right, Larry, you got another one.
I'd have loved to have been in the writer's room, like what other pitches they were given for some of the shit that is said. And like they had to settle, like, all right, we got to go with this one. Like, what are some of the more outrageous shit we're trying to get across?
And what got kicked out by censors and
yeah,
it's just too much.
I'm sure Fox would tell them to act some, right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, as if the show was doing better, they probably would have said do whatever you want. But
So
Yeah.
some of my favorite Tobias gags were his like physical like stuff, like his inability to get up and off a stage normally, or when he like slides off the bed.
He's like rolling onto the stage.
Or he's all dressed in leather and he like goes to move. And
Choking the chain.
Leather daddy.
You mean leather daddy?
The
Dad likes leather.
I'm daddy and I like leather. You mean leather daddy? Oh, is that a thing? What's the club he asks to go to? Is it the Gothic asshole?
Gothic Castle.
Gothic castle.
He says Gothic Castle, and the British goes Gothic asshole. No, what's the what's the restaurant he works at in like season 3?
With the
there's the anything goes
in Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, the anything go in Reno.
Reno, that's right.
Oh god, I can't remember what it's called. He makes the biggest little mistake of his life there.
All right, Larry, what do you got for your next one?
I'm gonna go with Chicken Dance with George Senior, because he just does the
Cuckoo-ca-cha!
Cuckoo-ca-cha. Yeah. It's almost, I feel like some of the other ones are like you're trying to figure out like who's doing what, but then you just like automatically get sucked over to Job doing his thing. And then like George Senior is like the only other one that like doesn't like overpower everybody else, or he's the only other one that does overpower everyone else. Just brilliant.
Sorry, back to Shankster. The restaurant was in Reno was called. It was a Swallows.
Yeah.
A family style restaurant by day and an anything goes pansexual bazaar by night.
And they say, "Hey, get this." They say, "Get something set up," and Michael's like, "What's that?" He's like, "I
is
don't
it
know.
the swing in the dungeon or something like that?"
It's a horse or something.
He's like, "Yeah, we don't have that at lunch."
Swallows.
God,
all right.
Thank you.
All right. We should have just had like a straight up Tobias Funke draft. We probably could have done that. All right, I'm gonna go secondary character. You guys have done really well at you basically have taken my number 1 and number 2. I'm gonna go with the world's greatest private eye and go Gene Parmesan.
Gene!
Ah!
He's the best.
I'm not even gonna count this. So he pops up. Oh, come on.
There was one where I think it might have been Ice. It was somebody like said something to Michael about George Senior, and Michael looks and like, no way, Gene? Like as in like
not that good.
Whoever no way you're that good, yeah.
Martin Mull is such a good actor, man. That guy is so underrated.
If you haven't, go back and watch Clue and watch him in that.
Yeah.
No,
he was the guy that ran the restaurant in Roseanne too.
Yeah.
He's so good on that. Yeah, that's a good point, Gene. Good point, Justin. Gene is the only. He's the only. It's the only.
The other time was with the general when she went downtown.
When you're alone and you. Yeah, that was J.K. Simmons, right?
Simmons, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The Buster gave him the massage and kept him in the. Yeah.
Hey, brother.
She'd sometimes show an occasional affection towards Oscar. I'm being lied on.
Is that her rape horn? It's more like a starting pistol.
I totally forgot that one. Holy shit.
Like anyone would want to R her.
Oh man. Did all the stuff afterwards with Jeffrey Tambor kind of ruin Jeffrey Tambor for you a little bit?
He got a little bit of Me Too, didn't he?
It was just kind of made it sound like he was just an asshole to Jessica
Walter, yeah.
Yeah, that he was just an asshole and berated her. And I mean, it's, you think about it, but at the same time, sometimes it's not condoning him, but God, it's like anybody anymore, though. You hear horror stories about everybody.
Yeah. Except for Tom Hanks.
True.
Literally the only person who's like, guy drives a Honda Accord and is like polite to everybody he meets.
Well, as the right wing people, he's part of that. He's part of the Hollywood ring.
Except for that one reporter that tripped his wife. You ever see that clip?
No.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
they're walking and a paparazzi like tripped Frida, and he got fucking pit. Like he went off.
Well, even that, like everyone.
Yeah, even
him defending his wife.
You can't. I assume the reporter gave him a hug, or he gave the reporter a hug afterwards, just because that's how.
Probably felt bad. Yeah.
That perception. Are you Larry? Are you just waiting for something really evil to come out about him?
No, I just probably not there, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate.
I mean, everybody needs to get knocked down.
I mean, he does have one trick against him. He's got Chet Hanks.
Yeah,
that's true.
Chet Hanks is a lunatic, man. He's fucking crazy. And if those of you watching, listening, don't know anything about Tom Hanks' son Chet, look him up. He's a fucking lunatic.
Doesn't he also spell his name Hanx?
Sure does.
Good God.
He's a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
What a wank.
Do you think Tom ever tells him, like, you need to be more like Colin? That was a really bad Tom Hanks impersonation.
That was great.
Reach for the sky.
Have you heard him talking about? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Larry.
Have you heard him talking about being cast as Batman?
Yes.
He's on like some British show, and he's like, could you imagine, like, Batman gets all angry and he like shakes the guy, and
I'm Batman.
Like, who are you? And he goes, I'm Batman. In that like cartoonish Tom Hanks voice.
That interview with
Graham Norton.
Yeah, it's really good. He goes over like the history of the Forrest Gump voice. Have you ever seen that?
No.
He talks about how Zemeckis was like, you need to work with the kid and figure out the voice. And all he did was talk to the kid, and he used the kid's voice. Because the kid talked like this, and his daddy made grease, and like it was the Forrest Gump voice. So like the kid actually invented the voice, not Tom Hanks.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, what do we got?
I got to go with the chicken dance, and really, 1 and 2 were obvious. And Lindsay hasn't gotten any love, so I'm gonna go with Lindsay. I can't even remember the sound she makes, but it's very animated. It's like
Chachi.
Oh yeah.
She says Chachi, and then Scott Baio's on the show.
That's right, Chachi. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. Yes. So yeah, gotta go with Lindsay.
Is that Nelly Blue?
Yes.
You call him that too?
She's great. She's a great show.
She is great.
She's an absolute lunatic outside of the show, but she's great on the show.
Yeah, she was good. I mean, it's just like I said, the her and Tobias, the way they play off each other is perfect.
And that like weird OC accent, like that like rich hoity-toity, like the little twang on the end of like the way she talks, like it's fucking perfect.
$1 million fucking diamonds.
I forgot to wear my Shamale shirt. I'm sorry.
Just showing up to the prison, all those outfits. You're costing me a fortune.
The Cougarans.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Shankster, you got two here.
Well, obviously, I think Lucille for the chicken dance, since that's the only one left.
A coodle doodle do.
I guess that was I think it was season 3 when all of them are doing it to Michael. And Job's like, hang on a minute. He goes to get like the nose for it.
Yeah. Come on. He's like, oh, come on. I thought someone was gonna throw a curveball and pick Michael. Michael's like cluck 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 cluck.
I don't even remember him doing it.
Back to Lindsay.
It's in the third season, I think.
Back to Lindsay real quick. We understand. One of my favorite things was he's like, look, Michael, I'm gonna get the car. I'm gonna get a Volvo. He's like, that's not a Volvo. He's like, oh wait, this. He's like, thank God I didn't spring for color on the copy of it. When she was sitting on the copying machine. That just kills me every time. So for the Tobias line, is it because I'll be your wingman, and he goes, was it even if it means taking a chubby, I'll suck it up. When he's was it him and Buster were gonna go out?
Yeah. No, was it him and Job? Or no, it was him and Buster.
The Buster was gonna go out in his army uniform. That he was at. He said he'd be he goes, I'll be your wingman. And yeah.
That's a good one.
Is it Buster at some point? I don't remember what episode it was. And he's like, it's something along the lines of he just wants to see their Charlie Browns talking about Tobias when he basically just says that he's gay. That God, I can't remember the line what it was. I'm gonna have to try to find that. But he's like basically he calls Tobias out for being gay.
For trying to look at his butt. You see him bite off his Linus.
Well, and they always they always do like weird things that never happen on the show. And like on the next Arrested Development, like Barry like making out with Tobias and like just stuff like that. And it never really happens on the show, but they just show that to fuck with you,
I think that's where they put their like funny gags that they can't work into a scene. They're just like, let's just have this happen and it could just stand alone.
I'm sure that's what it is, but yeah, it's funny that nothing ever happens with any of that. But, all right, Kev, you got your main character left.
That was a good segue here. I'm gonna go with Buster. Buster's admittedly in the later seasons, I found him to start getting kind of grating. But first 2 seasons, he was about as good as any other character.
What are you doing in your robe and slippies?
The second episode. Was it the second or third episode where they just keep passing him around and they're talking shit about him when then they get like also you hear him yawn and you don't realize he's there until he yawns. It's blowing through nap time, aren't we?
It's tired in here.
I'm a Milford man. I'm gonna hide behind my logo right now.
You can always tell the Milford man.
My favorite. Go ahead.
I think earlier in that episode too, as they're passing him around, Michael's like, when he gets him, okay, he's gonna work. This isn't just gonna be a day at the beach. And it like pans out to him. He's all like dressed for the beach. Like, okay, Mom, pack me a second set of clothes.
The same when he goes, maybe it was because he spent 12 months in the womb. 12 months in the womb. So there was claw marks on the womb. There was claw marks.
I think it's that same episode. He's destroying the entire. He's like chasing after a bird, and Lucille's yelling at him, and he says, "It's a bird! It walked on my pillow."
Walked on my pillow. That was one of the lines we discussed in the group chat.
Yeah, that always kills me.
It was the episode that found that he was. It was when the girls with low self-esteem, spring break. And Tobias said he was going to get the video camera and shoot boys with low self-esteem. And Buster's response was, he just wants to see boys' Linuses.
The army had half a day.
Army got having it.
These are prizes from Army. I
Does
like.
Coward
The
have
Army's
this?
giving out stuffed animals, apparently.
Was it when he's in the hospital and he's like making all the jokes about his hand, and then Michael says something, and he's like,
Get the hell out of here!
Get the fuck out of here!" Just like screaming. Him and his dating was
Uncle Oscar. Uncle Oscar, I saw you kissing my hook. And Oscar's smoking a joint.
Smoking
out
a
of it.
There's apparently a scene where a cop, like a couple cops with dogs start sniffing his hook, and that's the joke, is that Oscar was smoking weed with the hook, so the dogs were sniffing the hook. Well, that's kind of funny. But yeah, Buster.
Why did you stop hitting yourself?
You horny old slut!
Look at me, I'm being
It's not
withholding.
bad.
Look at me, I'm being withholding. God, I love it. All right, my gag, I'm gonna go with, if you guys ever noticed that Lupe is always wearing like hand-me-down sweatshirts from just really random shit. Like there's like a Valentine's Day episode and she's wearing like a Thanksgiving sweatshirt, and she's wearing like I think there's like a Clinton Gore sweatshirt that she's wearing in one. Like so like she always has like hand-me-down sweatshirts from like the family.
I never noticed that.
I didn't either.
And then obviously her house is full of like Buster's old shit, you know, like his hand chair and like, which again with Buster, it's kind of ironic that he had a chair that was a hand and he got his hand cut off.
Is it when she checks her purse? What's this?
The giant tinfoil ball.
Multiple, nothing.
Tinfoil for my son. She's like, "Have a good day, sweetie." After she does that, she has to check her fucking.
They don't expect you to be nice to them.
Mike, we talked about Anne already a little bit earlier, because if you see, Shankster took her as the gag. Her. But yeah, I thought that I didn't realize it as much until I started to watch this last go round. That Lupe is always wearing like a sweatshirt with something just very random on it. I was gonna pick the fireplace one where like Tobias is always in the fireplace.
Oh, I love that. For no explainable reason.
There's just no reason. He's just like laying in the fireplace.
Speaking of Lupe's clothes, Brian, doesn't she wear like the George Bush sweater or sweatshirt that Lucille's wearing in a flashback?
No, I think so. But also, Mrs. Featherbottom wears that sweatshirt too.
Yes, that's right.
It's a Bush Cheney one. All right, Mr. Irrelevant pick. Last one, Larry.
All right. So yeah, you guys took all the really, really good ones. I thought about Tony Wonder.
Let's go on.
No, he's not gonna pop up. I thought about Stan Sitwell and all the hair gags, but a really underrated character that everybody appreciates that I don't know if anyone was thinking about here. I'm gonna go with Ron Howard as the narrator.
That's a great one.
Good call.
I was
Just
actually
because
Ron Howard's on my list for main character.
Was it the when he was talking about the Scandal Makers episode and how he's just shitting on the narrator of that episode, saying that he didn't convey everything, well enough.
Yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to narrate it. He did the pilot and it went so well together. They're like, fuck it, let's keep doing it.
There's that moment where Michael's talking about Charlize Theron's character, and says she's in a state of arrest development, and then
hey, that's the show.
Ron Howard says, "Hey, that's the name of the show."
Was it the same type of thing? They had the cabin. They said Andy Griffith said no because he thought we were making fun of him with the cabin. I cannot stress this enough. We were not making fun of Andy Griffith.
And there's also, I think it's Job makes a reference to Donnie Host, and he goes, "It's most," which is that's Ralph Melf, right?
Yeah.
There was another one where somebody was talking, like making early on, made a joke about Opie, and like it cut back to him, and he just did the voiceover. He's like not having it. I remember the exact quote. Great.
Oh man, yeah. When I read the thing about David Cross and Jeffrey Tambor not in the plans to be regular characters, it was also Ron Howard was not. Oh, the Sox are blowing it. Sorry. Okay.
But you can't imagine the show without those guys being a main part of it.
No, I mean, who could you possibly have casted in any of those roles that would have been better than what they had? I don't.
And we referenced earlier in the season 4 or whatever. I mean, so much of the show, the best of the show is those characters playing off each other. And when they weren't together, like through much of season 4, it just didn't work.
Right. 100%. Hey, that's the name of the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Go
ahead, Larry.
I'm not a huge Jeffrey Tambor fan, so you probably could have pulled it off without him. But yeah, the other two were integral. He's
an interesting character. I was hoping someone would draft him. I feel like I had to take Lucille because she's my favorite. But interesting character because like you could tell he kind of had like he knows who he is. You know, like he knows he's a fucking scumbag. You know,
who would have worked?
You're breaking up, Shankster.
Well, looks like he's gone slow mo.
He went robot on us.
Michael Cera was underrated, I thought.
Yep. Both the kids were great.
Yeah.
And Michael Cera was the first pick for the job, but he had visa issues. Another thing I was reading today. They were gonna have, who was the other guy? Shit. I can't remember who the other actor was. It's somebody famous now. Shit.
Timothy Chalamet.
But that was another good ongoing gag. Was him and Maybe was another good one.
Yep.
What was the name of the movie? The Cousins.
Lake Cousins.
Or something like that. You got to see that movie. But like,
it was Michael Angarano was supposed to be. It was the backup. Was the guy from. Was he on Will and Grace?
Like
yeah,
he was.
He was
Will's one of Jack's son, somebody's kid, yeah.
But he was just an Oppenheimer, so.
Like the one said, Michael said something about. He goes, "You can rub off on her." Talking about maybe, he's like, "Well, maybe you can rub off on her," And then he's just like, "Hey, Bumpy," they're sitting in the back seat of the car, and Tobias like, "We were just ass to elbows back here. Maybe hop on your cousin's lap." Oh, bumpy road, Just,
I want you
all
to
that
ride
shit was just
hard.
Hard. Yeah, don't be afraid to ride her.
Hard.
Could easily have fit in our secondary characters as Kitty. She was fantastic. Judy Greer.
Yeah, she was phenomenal.
I love the fact that
margarita made in her mouth.
See it. Yeah.
What's the other lawyer?
Bob Loblaw.
No, not the other one. The guy's like, "I shall hide behind the couch." That guy's fucking great too. That guy's great in everything.
Wayne
Jarvis. That's what it was.
Worst audience participant at Cirque du Soleil.
He's also in the Gilligan episode, isn't he?
I don't remember.
Maybe.
Gilligan killed the stripper.
That what also happens that episode is one of the best exchanges in the show's history is Anyang kept interrupting Lucille and Job. And Job snaps. Will somebody please tell this insufferable child?
And Buster's just smiling.
That's the Gilligan episode.
Shit. You know what? In my open, I was gonna go instead of hello, I was gonna go Anyang. Fuck. Fucked it up. We gotta start over.
Editors.
We gotta re-record. Let's do it. All right. You want me to read some Tobias lines?
The other one I thought about was the guy wouldn't mind kissing that man between the cheeks.
Yep.
was one, and then what was the other one?
Michael, you really are quite the Cupid, aren't you? I tell you, you could zing your arrow in my buttocks anytime.
There's a good one when Michael gets he's in the hospital and he originally thinks it's his appendix, and Tobias goes, "It could be your colon. I'd want to get in there and find some answers."
If I may, let me take off my assistant skirt and put on my Barbara Streisand and the Prince of Tides ass-masking therapist pantsuit.
I love when he hands the card to a Buster that says it now. Or Pessy's like, "Oh no, it's not. What does he say? It's not how it's spelled, or it doesn't." He's like, "It's not the spelling that bothered me."
I don't remember the line.
Was it maybe I should call up the hot cops and tell them to come up with something more nautically themed, hot sailors or hot seamen. No, hot sailors is fine. Michael interrupts and let's get him to say hot seamen.
Oh, I've been in the film business for a while, but I just can't seem to get one in the can.
Douche chill.
Well, let's just say I'm bi-curious.
What was it? Well, they've got one guy who won't be talking. That is, unless there's a hand inside of him. Oh, please, Michael. Even then, I wouldn't say anything.
Excuse me. Do these effectively hide my thunder?
There's a great line for.
Oh, go ahead.
There's a great, like, almost throwaway line, but it's just the way he delivers it. From the first episode where Michael's like yelling at them after George Sr. gets arrested, and Michael leaves, and Tobias just goes, "Someone is a rude Gus." And it just sends me every time. And like, I will say that to my wife when she's like, yelling at me for something I did wrong or whatever. And she has no idea where it's from or anything like that. It makes me laugh.
The one that I think it's when you said it with the whole like beginning of this episode is the I think it might even that bringing up Buster the cornballer, when he's like, "Don't touch," when he just every time they put their arm, Tobias is talking, "Am I touching on something hot, 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 hot?" And he just
Gags.
knocks on the table. Don't touch that. Don't ever touch that.
The cornballer was on my list for gags, but I wanted to talk about Lupe's clothes. So.
I know, and I thought that he was like, "What is it?" He goes, "Oh, maybe I should be more like you. No rules, no boundaries. Go ahead, touch the cornballer. You know best."
The Tobias the one that always gets me every time I see it. It's when he's rehearsing with Carl Weathers and he's doing the cop scene. It's like I don't know if you've heard about me, but I'm a different kind of cop. I'm from the streets. And I'm the last cop you'll find in Dark Alley.
The fire sale.
There's a fire sale. It burns.
When him and Lindsay him and Lindsay are doing something, and he says something about being Hepburn and Tracy, and he does the
old
Hepburn
poop.
voice.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh God, he's Hepburn."
Just it's still like that. As we've talked about in the chat was say something to scare me. Fuck me. Nope, that didn't do anything.
No, didn't do it. Oh man.
This isn't a Tobias one, but it feels like in the same territory as Buster saying, "If Mom finds out about this, she's going to blow a cow."
Oh man.
Give enough credit for Job's ideas of fuck mountain. How do we weed out the teasers? Don't let them in. Yeah, how do we got weed out the teasers? Don't let them in.
What about the teasers? That's a good one.
Job is so good.
He's like, stole his Johnson brows.
The hot cop storming. Oh my God, it's the cops and a construction worker.
When he comes up with the weed, he's got his shirt up. Nice, huh? All right, Derek, you can put your shirt down. The gag one that I was kind of had been set on, and then I kind of thought of Ann was the J. Walter Weatherman.
Yep, he was on my list for secondary characters too.
I was gonna do the gag, with she's like, I need the the one armed man with the fake blood in the one arm, J. Walter Weatherman. How do I get a hold of him? He's dead. You killed him when you left the door open with the air conditioner on.
God.
And that's why you always leave a note.
That is why you always leave a note. All right, guys. We're at hour 10, so we should wrap this sucker up. Yeah, this was a fun one, man. This is one that is this the one that you and Shankster, you and Larry talked about before?
I think so.
Okay. There was a topic, and I couldn't remember if it was this one or
it was this
else.
one, I think, in bad sequels. Were the two that we talked about.
Yeah, that was the one.
Bad sequels. These are good sequels in my book.
Like Caddyshack 4. There's
You're probably,
four of them?
Are you Revenge of the Nerds 3 guy then?
Oh God.
No. I have a buddy who's Canadian, so obviously he loves Slapshot. And I was like, yeah, I was somewhere. I saw there's a Slapshot 4. And he's like, there's a Slapshot 2?
Right.
That's
Yeah,
Stephen Baldwin.
I've actually seen Slapshot 2. It's fucking horrible.
Which one has Stephen Baldwin? He's in
Is
one
that
of them.
Goin? No, that's
No.
Sean.
He's in one of the Slapshot sequels.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I think, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry. He's in the second one, I think. Now that I think about it.
Alec Baldwin allegedly killed somebody. He's still not the worst Baldwin.
Yeah, Slapshot 2, Breaking the Ice, starring Stephen Baldwin.
And
Gary Busey's in it too. So.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Yes, I forgot Gary
Takes a
Busey was in
puck
it
to
too.
the face.
That's how much I remember from seeing Slapshot 2. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's all we got here for tonight. I'll be back. I'm gonna actually take next week off. I think I might go to the Sox game next Tuesday. So
Why?
Depression is real. So yeah. But yeah, so thank you guys for being on. Usually I ask you guys if you have anything to plug, but none of you guys have anything to plug, I'm assuming, right?
I don't.
World peace.
Not until you're back on here again.
Yeah, I'm always game, man. You know that.
Well, 2 weeks from now, I am bringing back. We did an episode called Drafty Pod Recasting, and I'm doing a Drafty Pod recasting again. I'm still working on the panel for that one, but we're gonna recast the Princess Bride using Muppets. So, I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you, Tony and Luke, for doing a great job with Hook Up on Music tonight and giving us time to get started here. So I appreciate you guys.
Piggy is the six-fingered man.
Yes. So yeah, so we'll be back in a couple weeks. Don't forget to check out everything we have Sadistic Penguin Studios here on YouTube. Like and subscribe, please. Go to sadisticpenguinstudios.com and check out our blogs as well. We're ramping those up quite a bit. So definitely a lot of articles and stuff coming around the bend. CPG actually did one really, really cool one about the new Godzilla King Kong movie. So check that out when you get a chance. And don't forget to watch at the show this weekend. They're doing a baseball themed movie podcast. So be on the lookout for that.
3? They're gonna do Sandlot 3?
Of course.
Okay.
Is that the one where the dog eats everybody?
It could be. That's the one with Luke Perry, right?
Luke Perry.
He's in one of them where they go
Wait,
back.
you mean Jungle Boy's dad?
His dad is dead.
Thank you, Christian. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great night, y'all.
I'm off to Burger King.